there, and welcome to April's Horoscope for Knitters. I'm Katie, designer of Light from Lantern Knitting Patterns and the host of the Knit a Spell podcast. Our spring season is currently airing right here on YouTube or anywhere that you like to listen to your podcasts. If you remember from last month, I featured a deck by Laura Tempest Zakroff, and this month I'm featuring her other deck, the Anatomy of a Witch Oracle. This is a great deck for learners because not only does it come with a wonderful book full of reflections on each card, Laura also published an entire book on the topic so that you can go even deeper on this subject matter if it calls to you. As always, I'll put links to everything in the description. Now that we know what we're working with, let's give these lovely cards a shuffle and see what April holds for us knitters. Here we go. What does it hold for our first sign, Aries? How appropriate! For Aries, we have fire. This month, Aries, you're gonna feel like everything you touch is just transforming, especially if it's something that is following your heart, stuff that you love. As we've said in the past, things that are really juicy, that light you up, that set you aflame on the inside, make you passionate, are where you're gonna find the most happiness this month, Aries. We don't always have months where we can freely invest in things that we love, but it's April and a lot of us are trying to get over that sludge of the winterness into something a little bit brighter, and so maybe indulging yourself a little bit this month will help you get into the spirit. Taurus, for you, we have memory. Who taught you how to knit, Taurus? Was it a loved one? Perhaps someone who's no longer with us? This month, invest in some time thinking about them while you knit. Maybe there's a knitting project they made for you that you want to pull out and snuggle up with this month. Is there a half-finished project by a loved one that you always plan to finish? This is the month to give it some attention. Once it's finished, it's going to hold even more meaning, as you'll be able to reflect on those memories anytime you see it. Gemini, for you, we have the waning and waxing moon. This is funny again, it's sort of two sides of the same coin, which is very Gemini. Perhaps you're going to be moving in between two or more projects this month, or you're going to be not necessarily starting something or finishing something, but instead just making progress on things that are already started. Which, I mean, we're in Mercury retrograde right now. It is the perfect time just to work on things that are already going instead of starting anything. Instead, make progress on things you already have on the needles. Cancer, for you we have Dream. Aren't these cards just kind of lining up perfectly with each sign? Cancer, the moon, and here we are in Dream. What are you going to create this month? Something that you never thought was possible could be materializing into your knitting. Maybe you dream of a certain pattern that you saw on Ravelry. Maybe you're a knitwear designer who's dreaming of a new design. Or perhaps you're just trusting your intuition and knowing that the projects that you are guided to work on this month will be the ones that you'll make the best progress on. I also see a furry little friend here, and we know that Cancers typically love animals, so if you can find yourself in a crafting, knitting situation this month around an animal, be it a cat, dog, or whatever, you're gonna find even more joy. And you know they'll leave a little friendly fiber in whatever project you're working on too, so that they're always a reminder of the project you've worked on this month as well. Okay, Leo, for you, we have witch lungs. Are you going to be holding court in the knitting community this month? Using your lungs to share things that light you up, share some foundational learning skills with maybe new knitters? You are a natural born leader, Leo. Are you going to be helping someone grow into their new skills this month? If you find yourself in that situation, I say go for it. It'll be rewarding for everyone involved. On the other side of that, if you find a project that literally takes your breath away this month, that's the one to work on. Okay, Virgo, what do we have? It is Bless. This is a great month for ritualistic knitting, intentional meditative knitting, taking the time for yourself, really imbuing the project with the energy and intent specifically that you want to go into it. If you're finishing projects this month, again, retrograde is a great time to finish things. I would highly suggest doing some ritualistic blocking. Bless the water and let all of that goodness seep right into every fiber of every stitch. This is also a great thing to do to charge up a project if you're planning to gift it to someone else. Libra, for you, we have smell. Scent will be the way that you're gonna make choices in April. And smell is very powerful. It evokes memories, which is interesting that we had that earlier. And it's also a way to imprint future memories. So if you are finishing a project or are taking one out that you have finished but maybe haven't worn in a while, you may notice that the smell from the last time you wore it or from the smell of the blocking water is really going to ignite memories and lead you to, again, deciding, oh, I think that's what I'm gonna wear today. Oh, that's what I'm gonna knit today. So when all else fails, use your nose to guide your choices this month. And if you're a Libra who enjoys burning incense, definitely do that while you're knitting. It'll add another layer of smell for now and for the future. Scorpio, for you, we have witch bones. Why do I feel like that is so appropriate too? Decisions for you this month will be felt in your bones. And if you don't feel like that, you can say no. Or maybe you're knitting along and suddenly you're like, something's weird. Trust your bones. Trust that instinct. Maybe take a look at what you're knitting. You could find out that you've made a tiny mistake way sooner. Sagittarius, for you, we have sound. Messages for you this month will be confirmed with sound, and that could be from talking to someone and having a sort of synchronistic conversation, or hearing a song and thinking, oh, that actually reminds me I have a work in progress that I haven't been ignoring or forgot about, and it's for so-and-so, and that's who this song reminds me of. Or maybe song is going to help you raise your frequency before knitting sessions this month if you want to do more of like a meditative knitting state. Sound is a very powerful tool. So make sure to surround yourself with lots of sound this month, whether it's at your knitting group and it's just people chattering, or you're at the coffee shop and you hear, the sound of the music and people coming and going, or you're just at home and you're blasting music or watching TV. Indulge in sound while you're knitting this month. Capricorn, for you, we have the Witch's Bottle. I often think of these as spell jars, but since we're actually talking about knitting, I think these are very reminiscent of yarn bowls and things that we use to hold our notions. Also, bottles filled with soak and other sorts of wool washes. But witch bottles can also be used for spell jars. The best thing about witch's bottles is they can be any jar. I like to use recycled glass jars. They're not only handy to keep extra notions on hand and looking pretty, but they're also handy to make little knitting spell jars that you could carry around in your notions bag. Maybe you load up one with a bunch of honey and some cinnamon and a spider web from outside, and that's your little offering to sweeten all of your knitting and have all of your projects be so spicy and delicious for you to want to knit that they just fly right off your needles. That could be one option. If you have a suggestion for what you would put in a knitting spell jar to carry around in your notions bag, please let me know in the comments. All right, Aquarius, for you, we have Adorn. Perhaps you're finishing projects or have finished projects that need a little sprucing up. Changing buttons on a cardigan is a great way to refresh a look without having to knit an entire project again. Or adding fringe to some project or pattern that maybe didn't call for it, but would just add so much extra nice flair. More is more this month, Aquarius, and you have a very exciting and original taste, so I can't wait to see what you come up with. And finally, we have Pisces, and this is commune. You're going to find great joy by surrounding yourself with your knitting friends, your knitting coven, if you will. They're going to offer you inspiration, while you in turn also offer them inspiration. You can see by the way these colors intermix and blend that the shared energies are different, but they're aligned. And so it actually is a great compliment to find people who think differently than you, because that's when things really get layered and you start to think, oh, so many extra possibilities. And that's true of basically everything. Find your school of fish, Pisces. And if you don't have a knitting circle, maybe this is the month where you start one. Well, there you have it. That is our April horoscope for knitters. I've been using the Anatomy of a Witch Oracle by Laura Tempest Zakroff. And if you happen to have been admiring my shirt here, this is my Sun Tee, a pattern available on Ravelry that I will also link in the description. If you enjoy these videos and would like to support me for free, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next month.